What is up, guys? Lone Hawk here today, and welcome to Road to Master Episode 1, the series where I will be showing you me and my team's progress towards the Master tier of Overwatch players in competitive. In today's video, we completed our placements and played one more game. So we're going to go through all those games, what happened in them, what we could have done better, what we did well, and just give an overview of how I'm doing in competitive right now. Let's jump right into my first competitive match of Season 2, and this was our first placement game. And it was the first placement game for most of our team because we tried playing all of them together. A few of the guys had 1 or 2 games under their belts already, and I believe one of them was already placed. He was placed in Platinum, but for the most part, I think 4 or 5 of us had not played any placement games yet because we really want to try to play together almost all the time. That way our ranks stay close to each other and we can still queue with each other. Also, it's just better to promote team synergy and make us better players all around. This game, we kind of went in, I think, all expecting to win because, we have a good team, to be honest. One of our guys, or maybe even 2 of them, hit Masters on the PTR server when they were playing ranked, and a few of them were 65 plus ranked Season 1. So I was ranked 60, so we're all top, 5-10% of players in Overwatch. We're pretty good, so we honestly expected a win, but it didn't come. We actually ended up losing this game, and it's really easy to determine why. We weren't playing as a team. We went into the game with pretty much no plan. We all had a loose idea of what heroes we were good at, and then on the spot tried to decide who would go where. And when that comp didn't work and we needed to switch, it was really hard because I was like, all right, I can go to Winston to counter this Tracer because there was a very annoying Tracer on the enemy team, but no one was comfortable on Zenyatta. So I switched to Lucio, and then someone else switched to Winston, and then someone else went to Zenyatta. We just couldn't do it fast enough. We didn't have a backup team composition. So what we learned from this game, and it's almost a good thing we lost because we probably wouldn't have learned this otherwise, what we learned is we need a primary plan and a backup plan, if not even more plans. Plans A through Z instead of just A and B. So we lost this game. Moving on to the next game, you'll actually probably notice, I'll just say it now, I play a lot of Zenyatta. I'm pretty sure I only didn't play Zenyatta one time, and that's when I switched to Winston in this game because I just think Zenyatta is a very good hero right now, and to be honest, nobody else was comfortable on Zenyatta. Nobody else wanted to play him, and I find myself doing pretty well with him. I think I'm top 5% of the Zenyatas in the world right now, maybe even higher, but that's not really the point. The point is I'm comfortable on Zenyatta, and nobody else on the team really was, or at least they were more comfortable on someone else. So that's who I played for almost all of these games. Game 2 went a lot better. We weren't perfect, but it went a lot better. We actually kind of stomped on this team. We got our payload all the way to their spawn, and they couldn't even get past the first point. Why was this? Well, after the first game, we decided to sit down, maybe take a little break, that way we don't get tilted, just a few minutes, and discuss some strategy. We decided to make some backup plans, and we actually planned out some scenarios that we thought would happen or could happen in our heads, and decided what we'd do against them. Like, for example, if a Tracer is annoying us, or just a specific hero in general is annoying us, we tried to make some plans to counter that. And we didn't actually end up needing it. This team wasn't very coordinated. I think they queued together maybe as a bunch of friends, and since we were in our placements, we kind of stomped on them. Most of them were like rank 50 last season, which isn't bad, but we were all rank 60 plus. So there's a pretty big gap there. I don't think the matchmaking was actually very fair in this one. I think this game, a few of the games people complained actually, this may have been one of the games where they were in chat just complaining the whole time as to how the placement system was unfair because we were so much better. But that's just because we were playing as a team. We were a lot more coordinated. We just felt like we were a team a lot more. We didn't really learn anything from this game because it was just kind of uneven. We didn't need any strategy to win. We just pushed right up the middle and out-aimed them, out-skilled them, and that was that. We won the game. I'm gonna have to cut back on the descriptions of these games unless we want this video to last all day. The next game was very similar to the first game. We pushed straight through on offense all the way into the final point without really any hiccups. There was no problems. We just out-DPS'd them, out-aimed them, and we won like that. On defense, however, I had one little bit of a scare. They luckily, and I do mean luckily, they took the first objective on kind of a fluke. We shouldn't have lost it. We weren't really focused because we had been stopping them on the first point for so long, we kind of got comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you get lazy. So we got too lazy and they took the first point. What scared me was nobody wanted to get on top of the saloon. I said, why don't we all get on top of the saloon? I know this is a really good spot to defend from. I've seen pro teams do it. Actually, I don't think I said that in game. I didn't tell them my reasoning in game, but I told them, let's get on top of the saloon. It's a very good spot to defend from. But we didn't. Some people got in the saloon. Some people were trying. I kept falling off because I was panicking, and we were really uncoordinated. So the enemy team pushed up all the way right before the second payload point. And luckily, we got a stop there. Actually, it wasn't lucky. It was more skilled, actually, I think. We utilized our cover properly, utilized our Reinhardt shield, and we skillfully stopped them from getting that payload, meaning we won the game because we pushed to 3 and they only pushed to 1. That puts us at 2 wins and 1 loss so far in placements. Game number 4 was on Numbani, and I'm not going to lie, when we were attacking on this portion of the map, I got carried. I didn't actually do too much. Our team immediately rushed the point, and they all took it very quickly, and I fell off the map. That's all I did. I fell up the map, and our team won a 5v6 without me even there, so I'm not actually even too sure what happened, but they took the point no problem. After that, we took the second point as well. It took a little bit of work because the enemy Winston kept jumping on me, and it was really, really annoying, but we ended up getting the second point. We couldn't, however, take the third one. The enemy just kept stopping us. The enemy Mercy kept getting revives. I'm telling you, she would not stop reviving. She kept getting 5-man revives, and we tried to focus her, but we couldn't. This is actually a recurring problem. A few games that I think the games we lost after our first one, the other few games we lost, I won't tell you how many, were all due to Mercies because the Mercy kept getting 5-man revives. And we'd try to focus her, but all they do is hide in the back of the map, and we wouldn't be able to find them until it was too late and they were revived. So that was a recurring problem. On defense, however, we completely shut them down. They couldn't even take the first point. We had a really good hold, and we just stomped on them. They couldn't get the first point, and that gave us the win, putting us at 3-1 in our placement matches. Our next game, no lies, we fell apart. We were getting, once again, too comfortable. We had 3 wins in a row, and we were feeling really good because they weren't really close wins. The past 3 wins we had, we all kind of won by a large margin. We stomped them on defense, and we pushed all the way on offense. However, we couldn't do that here. We didn't actually end up getting a single point, a single capture, a round win in this game. We just weren't coordinated. We weren't there. One big reason I think we lost was because at the beginning of the game, I said, we don't probably need a Reinhardt here. I'd rather see a Roadhog because I really like Roadhog on these King of the Hill maps. However, I really forgot that we have a really good Reinhardt. And I'm not saying he's not a good Roadhog, but he's a fantastic Reinhardt. And Reinhardt is kind of, a staple. You can't go wrong with Reinhardt. If your team stands behind him and utilizes him, he's going to do really well. But we didn't have him. We had Roadhog for a long time, and none of us thought to tell him, or he, I don't think, thought to switch. We kind of just kept it there for a while. And once we realized it, it was a little bit too late. Also, our Hanzo player, who is interesting, we actually did run offensive Hanzo a lot, and it worked very well, was lagging a lot, and in the end of the game, he actually disconnected because his internet was too bad, which got fixed next game. So it was really weird. We don't know if it was his internet or Overwatch servers, but anyway, this game, there's a lot of reasons we lost. Once we lost the first round and the second round, we were getting a little frustrated. I think at one point I switched to Lucio even. We switched up our comp too much. Weren't playing as a team once again. This puts us at 3-2 for our placement games, which didn't make me happy, and it really didn't make the other guys happy. So once again, we sat down, we decided to go over some strategies, a few things, and we came up with a few new ideas. For one, we had a plan for when we wanted our main Lucio player to switch to d.va, because our main Lucio player is also a really, really good d.va player. He's a d.va main. He's like one of the best d.vas I've ever seen. So we really wanted a team composition that included him there because that's his best role. We just didn't have someone else to fill Lucio. So what we did was we planned up a backup strategy for him to go over to d.va and our Zarya, who's an excellent Zarya, he's a Zarya main, to go to Lucio. And luckily they're both good Lucios, so it worked out pretty well. There were a few times it actually saved us, and we won a few games because we switched comp. Game 6 of placements, we all went full Super Saiyan. They could not stop us. They barely ever got anyone through the main doorway on Hanamura. We just held them here. They could not get through. We did not allow anything to happen, and when stuff got close to happening, we usually had plenty of ultimates ready to save us from the disaster. Offense was a weird one. We couldn't get through their point, and that's the truth. They were holding us really, really well, and we really couldn't think of a way to get through. I think we switched comps. We were trying to come up with some ideas, and finally, we got lucky. Or the enemy team got unlucky or stupid, however you want to say it. We failed to push. We really couldn't stop them. They took out a few of our people, and so what they did was they decided to chase me. They chased me all the way back to my spawn, where my team was respawning in full force, which it 100% cost them that point. We may have pushed onto it later, but the fact that they all chased me to their spawn, leaving their good position to defend from, which was the choke point, just to get me, was really, really stupid. Cost them the game and we won. Hopefully they learned a valuable lesson. We basically told them they handed us the game by chasing into our spawn, and we didn't know why they did it, but there you go. Hopefully you guys learn from that too. Don't chase too hard. Don't ever chase all the way into the enemy spawn. That's a terrible idea. We win the game, putting us at 4-2 for our placement matches. We'll run through this game pretty quickly because it was one of our signature stomps, like we did a few times before, where we held them entirely on defense and they didn't get a single point, and on offense, all we had to do was push it to the first point. Simple as that. We just stood there, didn't use any, complicated strategies, utilized our Reinhardt shield. Hanzo and Zarya had a few good wombo combos with their ult, where Zarya ulted the Graviton Surge and Hanzo used his Dragon Strike to kill basically the whole enemy team, which helped us push sometimes, and that puts us at 6-2 for our placement matches. If you're paying attention, you'll notice I said our last one, we were 4-2. Which means I lost the game somewhere. Somewhere I messed up and I didn't do it right. But regardless, right now we are 6-2 actually in placement matches, and that puts us at nothing. We're not ranked yet. Moving on. Now on to Game 9 of placements, and at this point, we are actually noticing that we're playing against ranked players, and the players we're playing against are all high platinum and low diamond players. So we have a good position, good idea of what level we're playing at right now, and it's a little bit intimidating, but I don't think we really let it get to us. This game was really back and forth. We won round 1 on this map. They won rounds 2 and 3, and we came back and won round 4. And the problem was, we had won on the same version of the map 2 different times, whereas they had won on the other 2 portions. This worried us because we couldn't find ways to beat them on the other versions of the map. We had only won on that one version that we were very good on, so we weren't confident we could actually win the last round. But we did. We pulled together, we played as a team, and we just tightened up our gameplay. It didn't really take too much strategy changing. There were a lot of minor strategy changes we made, and in the next episode, we'll go over those a lot more when I have less than 10 games to go over. But we're going through these pretty quickly. There's not too much description because I do have 10 games to talk about. But like I said, this game, we just tightened up our gameplay. We made sure we sticked as a team. We weren't separated. We tried to focus fire a lot better. I tried really placing good harmony and Discord orbs and ulting right, and we got the win, and that puts us at 9-2 in placements, and we're all kind of hyped. What if we can go 10-2 in placements? That should put us at diamond. That would be really sweet. Well, spoiler alert, we don't. We didn't do it. It wasn't very good. It wasn't too bad, but it was kind of bad. At the first point, the enemy team caught us off guard. They took a route we didn't expect, and they took it right away without much resistance. And then we kind of slowed them down, but they ended up making it all the way to the last point, getting them 3 points when we had to switch to offense. And when we switched to offense, we had a very hard time pushing. We did the same thing. We actually got all 3 points, but it took us the whole time, and it took us overtime to do so. So we were out of time, and the enemy team actually still had time left. So when it switched back to them being on offense, all they had to do was take the first point to win. And if you remember from before, that's what they did earlier. They took the first point without much resistance. So we tried to think of a new plan, but it didn't work. We couldn't stop them, and we lost our last game, putting us at 7-3 in placements, which isn't too bad, but it's a little bit disappointing because I really wanted to be placed in diamond. Instead, I get placed at 2788, which is high to medium platinum. Some of the other guys were around me, around the same level. One of our guys got placed in low diamond because he was a higher rank last season, so hopefully he doesn't play too much and can't queue with us, but that's our rank. We actually lost the game after I played this because I wasn't playing with my team and I wasn't paying attention, which was stupid, so won't do that again. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below. I actually wanted to do an episode of Coach Hawk, but I haven't gotten enough Season 2 footage yet, so send in your Season 2 competitive footage to the description down below, hopefully, if I don't forget, and I will try to get that in the near future. Also, future episodes of this will be more detailed. They'll go over what we did wrong, and strategies. I just couldn't do that for this one because there were so many games I wanted to cover. I'll see you guys all later. Lone Hawk out.